Hello folks, today I wanted to bring a topic that I found very interesting yet somewhat forgiven or forgotten or both, which is good songwriting. How to write melodies and things like this. I came to the realization that today's days we have wonderful tools for guitar technique, wonderful tools for learning theory and learning all the elements that we need in music. Yet still, every time that I go to YouTube or that I go to Facebook, all I find is shredding. Sometimes it's actually many times it's fantastic shredding and great exercises and really high levels of technicality that just a few years back, because of the lack of these tools that we have today's days, would have been nearly impossible. However, I've also noticed something that was not so pleasant, which is a real lack of interesting melodies and real songwriting or composition, meaning a nice instrumental tune, something that makes musical sense all the way, and not just playing over the changes or shredding or copying somebody else's solo. That being said, I think that's also a great thing to do. Don't get me wrong. Learning John Petrucci's solo or an Yngwie Malmsteen or Alan Holdsworth's, yeah, like we can learn Alan Holdsworth's, by the way, are definitely great tools for our learning and for increasing our skills. So I'm not gonna criticize that. I think that's great. However, we can't forget something, and is that all those tools are meant to be used enhancing a composition, making something that you write great, making something that you write stand. Somebody said to me once, shredding and licks and things like this are great, but they are like the salt and the pepper. And if you put too much salt, right? Nobody wanna eat that fillet. And I think I agree with that. Again, nothing against those licks. I play myself licks and I love them. But at the same time, I have to say that I really am missing some good, nice melodies which have notes that all count. Which used to be the case before, but it seems that this is almost gone. There's still artists that make this happen. Don't get me wrong. I feel I'm getting too dramatic here. But at the same time, I would like to see more of this. So here's what I'm going to talk about. When I teach, and I've been teaching consistently for almost 20 years, music, guitar composition, technique, and many things music related, really. And I'm going to tell you that at some point, most of my students will come to me and say, hey, I'm having trouble writing a melody. I'm really struggling because I have this nice chord progression, but I can't get anything that makes sense or that's cool. Everything sounds like a scale or like it's simply wrong. And every time I've realized that it seems to be a pattern of why or which are the difficulties that they that cross their paths. So the reason I'm making this video is because I feel that maybe that could also be your case or somebody else's that you know, and this might help. So here's what I encounter, and here's my test when it comes to this with my students. I will ask them, all right, let's give it a try. Let's get just one chord or maybe two chords. We loop them. We use a program maybe like iReel, or you just record them on your looper, or any way that you can get them rolling for you. And then without your guitar or your instrument at all, you're gonna sing something interesting that you like on top of it. Nothing fancy. I'm not gonna give you more than 3 rounds, so I'm gonna play the chord 3 times. Just come up with something that you feel it's something cool, right? And the word cool may not be very precise, but we all have kind of like a common understanding of what is it that sounds good or not, for the most part, I would say. So I do this experiment, and here's what I usually get. I get great melodies, actually. I'm not even exaggerating, like I will say 9 out of 10 times that I try this experiment, my students consistently, whether they are beginners or advanced, they come up with really neat melodies that I really enjoy. And again, I teach all levels. So I'm talking the same as somebody who never picked the guitar and is in his third lesson, but he wants to sing something interesting. And I'm also talking about the advanced who's already into the shredding and wants to understand more in depth all the harmonic concepts of music. They usually, both sides of the spectrum, come to me and sing something that I feel it's cool and interesting. So now, from this point, there's 3 things that happen, not to each one of the students, but these are the 3 things, the 3 rocks in their path towards making these melodies a full song, or making them into something that they are going to be playing. The first problem that most of them encounter is technique. The first problem that most of them encounter is technique, meaning their inability to play the melody they just sang appropriately with their instrument. They simply try and, their technique gets in the way. Okay, this may count for a good 5% of them. Usually they can play it. So this is the list of the problems. Problem number 2, this is a bit more common. They can sing it, but they cannot really find all the notes on the guitar, or they cannot play the rhythm. They can play the notes, but they struggle with something and they cannot fully materialize the melody that's here or here into the guitar, for instance, or the piano. This is, like I said, more common, and this counts probably for a good 20%. So now we have 25% and we only have one problem left. So what is it? What is it that keeps most people from playing really great melodies? Are you ready? It's self-trust and confidence. Consistently, most times, even though their melody was good, very good, or at least good enough so that the average listener would enjoy it, they will dismiss it. The musician himself or herself will dismiss it because it was not sophisticated enough, or it was not interesting enough, or it did not have this tension, or this 7th chord, or this other one thing. And here's the thing. They're missing out great melodies and great songwriting because they feel or they perceive that they are going to be judged by others or by other musicians, or that they are going to be dismissed if their musical composition is not edgy enough in a way. And here's the thing, here's the reality check for all of us, including myself, because we all have this sin sooner or later. Nobody cares, guys. Nobody really cares so much if your licks are not unbelievably fast, or if your composition doesn't have this 7th, or nobody cares. All we really want to hear is a good melody that makes sense, that is appealing, and that works with the music. That is point number 1. Actually, if you think about it yourself, if you think about the songs that really made it into your life and that make a difference, even those which inspire you to play music, are probably, most of them, not that complicated to play. They are not. They happen to be good songs. They have an interesting melody, and they flow really well. So, why won't they do it? Because they are afraid to be, sometimes they are simply afraid to be judged by others. They feel, well, Yeah, I wrote this. It sounded good in my head. When I played it on the guitar, I thought it was kind of like easy and I don't know. So what happened next is they tried to add some flourish stuff or change something or accommodate for something or make a fast lick in between. And the whole thing ended up sadly, and that's a big sadly, going to the pooper because of this. And the thing is, the melody worked, their ideas work, and they have the talent. Just like I assume you probably do, because like I said, during this time that I've been teaching, I've realized that most of us have the talent. You only have to persevere and do the things you need to do. But you probably have it just as much as anybody else. Maybe you have a harder time with a certain field or technique or understanding theory in the beginning, but the ideas, the musicality, all that, I firmly believe that most of us can create good songs and good compositions. So instead of being afraid, trust yourself, give yourself some credit. Get this melody that you feel is too simple, that you liked before when you sang it in your head. Give the world a chance to listen to that melody because you'll be surprised. I think you might be surprised how many folks are going to listen to it and think, oh, that's a cool melody, you know? Then a different thing is how you're going to develop it. Are you going to create a good song based on this melody? Those are different things for a different day. But the melody itself, the thought process behind was good and was complete, and you need to trust yourself when you're writing music. And think about this for a second. How many times you go to YouTube, like I said before at the beginning of the video, not to be redundant, but how many times are you even paying attention to the 1,000 trillion guitar players that come off your Facebook feed page, thinking, wow, this guy is so fast, I'm going to listen to the 5 minutes of shredding. Really? Exceptionally, we might, if it's somebody who's like over the top. But even then, I think we are getting so used to this type of virtuosic playing that it's not relevant anymore. The other day, and I'm going to wrap it up soon, but I wanted to bring this example. The other day I was, same thing, I was browsing through Facebook and I see this guy playing a pink guitar and playing a few blues licks, pentatonic, strictly, simple licks, with, I would say, very influenced probably by Stevie Ray and B.B. King. The guy never played anything really fast or flashy, no fancy tappings, nothing. But the phrasing was so good. And by good, I don't mean rehearsed, which it might have been. You can never know. But it sounded very intuitive and very truthful, and the melodies made sense, and it took you from one place to the other really nicely. Not fast, not extremely complicated, but musically meaningful. And this is something that I think we should all keep in a quest for. Just like I listen to this guy, because you may think, well, this is just you, right? Because you're in this stage that you're aiming for the perfect melody or for simplicity or something, or right? And then you listen to this guy and you thought, okay, this is making sense in my world, right? But no, the guy had like 200 likes, and everybody was saying how great his tone was and how great, and he had good tone. But his tone was really coming from here, not from the equipment, because I think he was playing a pink Squire that was like $100 cheap. I'm not gonna even say expensive, right? So, cheap guitar, pink guitar, which not everybody is really appealed to, but I thought it was cool. I thought the guy just didn't give a crap and just went for it and bought his pink guitar. Cool, good for you. I think that's awesome. And he played really good licks, really consistently. I'm saying licks, but I really mean melodies. And everybody liked it. And like I said before, he had many likes and many comments complimenting his playing. So what did I learn or relearn? Because I was thinking about making a video about this, but that was kind of like the last push that I needed. Bottom line is, trust yourself. Your melodies are good. If you sing them and you think they rock, go for them. Don't try to overcomplicate them. Don't try to squish every little lick you know, or even any. Here's another thing that I thought it was very cool to say. Don't let people. No, no, hold on, it's the other way around. Let people discover your licks through your music, because nobody will give a crap. Nobody's gonna discover your music through your licks, and that's almost, unfortunately, because like I said, we don't like playing fast and all this flashy stuff. But unfortunately, this is almost a certain thing that will happen. So allow people to discover your licks through your music. Play great music. If you play a tune without any licks or without any speed, that is also cool too, as long as you play good music. Best example in the world, Joe Satriani. Joe plays very simple melodies for the most part. I'm not saying they are bad. This is not a critique or a negative critique in any way. But his melodies are very singable. If you know this tune, Surfing with the Alien, until he gets to the solo, the melodies are not that difficult at all. And if you listen to the chords in the background, neither are they. They are simply good and simple. And if you sing the melody yourself, you'll see yourself almost rejecting playing this melody if it came from you in the first place because it was too simple. But he did not, because he realized that good music is made of good melodies that come from the heart and not from your fingers. And I think this is all I got for you today, you guys. This is my rant on, I guess, YouTube and songwriting, and my very, very best wish for all of you playing music and playing and writing melodies. Really trust yourself. You have great music and the world needs to hear it. The world doesn't care for your licks so much. They care for your music. So show us. We want to listen to it. We want to get excited about something. I want new CDs that I can buy to listen to in my car. I don't want to listen to shredding and shredding and shredding without any meaning. And nobody wants, not even you. See you guys soon.